Today we are expecting the chance of some severe storms in parts of far western Oklahoma. I'm really not expecting any severe weather in Oklahoma City, but 12 years ago today was actually a big tornado outbreak, and it was really all across the state. We had several tornadoes even that ripped through parts of central Oklahoma and the metro. And in fact, 56 tornadoes took place that day, 4 EF3s, 2 EF4s. There were 3 fatalities, 450 injuries, and almost $600 million in damages. And fortunately for this time this year, it doesn't look anything like that. Today is completely different. In fact, it looks very quiet throughout much of the day. There is a low threat of severe storms in far western Oklahoma later this evening. In the meantime, lots of sunshine, although it's hot and it's humid. A south-southwest wind at 19, wind gusts at 33, so it makes our 85 degrees feel more like 93 degrees already, and temperatures in the low to mid 90s across western Oklahoma. We still have the upper 70s and low 80s across the far east, but with dew points well into the 70s right now in central Oklahoma, that heat index is really going to play a role in how it feels outside. It already feels like 100 degrees in Enid, 102 in Altus, several upper 90s across the west and southwest. Now, we will see some improvement over the next couple of days. Today, it's going to be pretty oppressive, but as we get into tomorrow, dew point should actually stay in the upper 60s, so still approaching that oppressive category. But by the time we get into Thursday, it's not going to be nearly as humid, although I do expect it to still be hot with highs in the upper 80s and low 90s. So today, a south wind between about 20 to as much as around 30 miles an hour. Again, not really providing a whole lot of relief. Well, out to the west, eventually, we've got that dry line way out to the west. And out there, it's not humid, it's dry. But out ahead of that, we could have some showers and storms that form along that line later this evening. In fact, some of the data bringing in very late. In fact, this particular model is bringing in a little bit earlier than some. But it's showing that some of these storms out the Panhandle will cross that line, the Texas and Oklahoma line, probably between about 9 and 10 o'clock. Eventually making their way to the east. Now, initially, I think that's when they're going to be at their most severe. They're going to be the most strong. We could see up to golf ball size hail, wind gusts potentially around 65 miles an hour. But even better news, I'm really not seeing a whole lot of a tornado threat with these, now, at least as they come into the state. Not necessarily the case out in the Panhandle. There is a low tornado threat out there, but overnight tonight, eventually everything weakens as it does approach the metro. A slight chance we actually do get some rain here in Oklahoma City. And then tomorrow kind of looks a little similar. I think it's going to be hot and humid again for most of us, but by tomorrow evening, rain and storms will move into the Panhandle, and they're going to weaken quite a bit as they try to move into far western and northwest Oklahoma. In fact, Thursday looks kind of the same. It's still going to be hot. It's not going to be nearly as humid with the chance of storms in the far west. So Oklahoma City, we're keeping those rain chances out of the forecast for a few more days at least. Today, looking for a high of about 91 degrees in Oklahoma City, but the lower 100s across western Oklahoma. And again, this evening, it's a lot more likely that we will at least have some showers and storms in the far western half of the state. Overnight tonight, those do spread off to the east, but they're going to be weakening quite a bit. So right now, only a 30% chance in Oklahoma City. So storm zone for this evening and tonight, a low threat that we are expecting some of these storms to be severe as they cross that Texas and Oklahoma line with large hail, damaging winds, some heavy rainfall up to golf ball size hail across the far western half of the state. And then again, up to about 65 mile an hour wind gusts with any one of those storms that become severe. So tonight, temperatures only dropping down into the mid and upper 60s. We only got down into the 70s this morning, so not nearly as warm. Temperatures tomorrow still look hot, highs in the upper 80s. Low to upper 90s across the west, and still looking at the upper 80s across the far east. Tomorrow evening, a much higher chance of rain and storms in the Panhandle, but a slight chance in the far western and northwest part of Oklahoma. By Thursday afternoon, it's hot. It doesn't look as humid. Still windy, though. The south wind between 15 to 25. Gusts a little higher than that out to the west. Highs in the low to upper 90s. And again, Thursday evening, a slight chance of rain and storms in the far western part of the state. Now, for Oklahoma City, we do have a slight chance of rain and storms by Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but unfortunately it looks like some of the latest data is actually showing those chances don't look as great as they did yesterday. Hopefully that trend goes the opposite way. We had some good rain last week, but after these past few days we could probably use a little bit more.
I mean, I can't believe how hot it is.